You have been living under an occupation, my child, a long and wearying siege of the soul. A great and overwhelming darkness has descended upon the landscape of your life, and has not been a passive shadow, but an active, ruling tyrant. You have felt its oppressive weight, its chilling authority, its power to dictate your thoughts, your feelings, and your very perception of reality. You have looked upon the might of this darkness and have felt utterly, completely powerless, a helpless subject in a kingdom of despair, convinced that its reign is absolute and its power unbeatable. They may have looked upon your struggle and, seeing the tyrant's strength, have counseled you to surrender, to accept its rule. But I come to you now, my voice a quiet word of truth that carries an authority far greater than any shadow, to speak a promise that will ignite a revolution in your soul. There's a light in you, my beloved, and the darkness, for all its terrifying power, will flee before your light. I know the specific nature of this tyranny of the overwhelming darkness. It is a despot that rules by fear, that governs through illusion. It has established its dominion in your mind, whispering its propaganda of hopelessness, its narratives of your weakness, its history of your failures. It has laid siege to your heart, seeking to extinguish every last ember of joy, of passion, of love, leaving only the cold ash of sorrow and apathy. It has patrolled the borders of your life, limiting your movement, restricting your possibilities, convincing you that the small, shadowed cell of your present suffering is the entirety of the world. You have known the profound feeling of powerlessness before this tyrant. You have tried to fight back, haven't you? You have mustered your courage. You have brandished the sword of your willpower. You have tried to rally the last, weary troops of your own inner strength. But the darkness has seemed too immense, its power too great. Your best efforts have felt like throwing pebbles against the walls of a great, dark fortress. And after so many failed attempts, a deep and chilling resignation has set in, a belief that the tyrant is simply too strong, that its reign is unchangeable, and that you are destined to live out your days as its quiet, defeated, and obedient subject. This tyrant rules by a set of cruel and enslaving laws. There is the law of fear, which dictates that every shadow holds a monster, every unknown a catastrophe, every new day a potential for more pain. There is the law of isolation, which tells you that you are utterly alone in your struggle, that no one understands, that no one can help, that you are cut off from all sources of comfort and support. And there's a law of shame, which constantly reminds you of your past mistakes, your perceived flaws, your inadequacies, whispering that you are deserving of this dark imprisonment, that your current state is a just punishment for who you are. You have lived under these laws for so long, my child, that you may have come to believe they are the fundamental laws of the universe itself. And they, the world, have often been unwitting accomplices to this tyranny. They have looked upon the power of your darkness and have been intimidated by it. They have advised you to not provoke it, to appease it, to simply learn to live with it. They have seen the evidence of its rule, your sorrow, your fear, your stillness, and have mistaken these symptoms for your true identity, confirming the tyrant's propaganda. This is just who you are now. They may have implied the sad one, the fearful one, the one whose life is a tragedy. Their acceptance of the tyrant's reign has only served to reinforce its power, to deepen your own sense of hopeless submission. I have been with you in every moment of this oppressive occupation. I have seen you bow your head under the weight of the tyrant's rule. I have heard the silent scream of your spirit for freedom. I have witnessed every quiet act of defiance, every small, courageous moment where you have refused to completely believe the lies of the darkness. And my heart has been filled, not with judgment for your submission, but with a profound and holy anger against the tyranny that has afflicted my beloved child, and an immense pride in the unquenchable spark of light that has endured within you, even under such immense pressure. For you must understand this, my beloved, the darkness, for all its apparent power, for all its terrifying fury, is a usurper. It is an illegitimate ruler. It has no ultimate, rightful claim upon the kingdom of your soul, for that kingdom belongs to me, and you, my child, are the rightful heir to its throne. The darkness has been a temporary, though brutal, occupying force, but its time is now coming to an end. For there's a light within you, a light that you have forgotten, a light whose power you do not yet understand. It is not a small, fragile candle flame, easily extinguished by the winds of the tyrant. It is a spark of my own divine, eternal, unquenchable fire. It is my own presence, my own life, my own light, dwelling in the very core of your being, and the darkness, for all its bluster, for all its oppressive weight, is, in its very essence, terrified of this light, for it knows a profound and eternal truth, a truth that you are now beginning to learn. Darkness cannot overcome the light. It cannot fight the light. It cannot negotiate with the light. In the presence of the light, it has only one option: it must flee. This is the promise I am speaking to you now. My child, I am not promising that I will come as an external force to vanquish the darkness for you. Though my power is certainly working on your behalf, I am revealing to you a far more glorious, more empowering truth. I am awakening you to the immense, darkness shattering power that already resides within you. The victory over this tyranny will not be mine alone. It will be ours together, for it is your light, the light of my spirit shining through your unique and beautiful soul, before which the darkness that has tormented you will now begin to retreat in terror. The season of your powerlessness is ending. The reign of the tyrant is being challenged, and you, my beloved child, are being called now to move from the posture of a defeated subject to that of a radiant, powerful, and victorious child of the King. The agony has been real. The tyranny has been profound. But the light within you is more real, more profound, and infinitely more powerful. And the time has now come for you to learn to shine it. For I declare to you, the darkness that has held you captive will flee before your light. The tyranny has seemed so complete because you have believed in its power more than you have believed in the power of the light within you. You have been like a royal heir, living in their own palace, which has been overtaken by servants, believing the servants are the true masters. You have forgotten your own authority, your own identity, your own power, and my work now is to remind you of who you truly are. You are not a subject of the kingdom of darkness. You are a child of the kingdom of light, and the light you carry is your birthright. The darkness has ruled by making you feel small, but your true nature is vast, connected to my own infinite being. The darkness has ruled by making you feel weak, but your true nature is one of divine strength, sourced in my own omnipotence. The darkness has ruled by making you feel alone, but your true nature is one of eternal, unbreakable communion with me. The entire strategy of the tyrant has been to keep you from realizing the truth of the light you carry, for it knows that the moment you truly begin to believe in your light, to own it, to shine it, its reign is over. The battle is not one of strength against strength. It is one of truth against illusion. And the truth is, you are a being of light, and the darkness has no ultimate power over you. This is the great turning point in your story. You are moving from a defensive posture, trying to survive the darkness, to an offensive posture, beginning to shine your light into it, and you will be amazed to see what happens. The shadows you thought were so solid, so menacing, will be revealed for what they are: insubstantial phantoms that cannot endure the presence of even the smallest flicker of authentic, divine light. Your journey out of this tyranny is the journey of learning to shine again. Let this truth begin to dismantle the very foundations of the prison in which you have lived. The tyrant is a usurper. Its laws are illegitimate. Its power is an illusion. And its time is short for the rightful heir to the throne. You, my beloved child, bearing my own light within your heart, is now awakening to your true identity and your true authority. The agony has been in believing the lie of your own powerlessness. The liberation is in embracing the truth of your own divine light. Do not fear the darkness any longer, my child, for it is about to learn to fear you. The most profound secret is this: the darkness has never had any power of its own. It is merely the perceived absence of light. Therefore, you do not have to fight it. You do not have to struggle against it. You only have to shine, and as you begin to shine, as you learn to let the light that is within you emanate from you, the darkness will not be fought. It will simply, naturally, and completely cease to be where you are. This is the divine law, and this is the victory that is now at hand. My beloved child, having acknowledged with you the profound and terrifying experience of living under the tyranny of an overwhelming darkness, having validated the very real feeling of being powerless and defeated by its oppressive reign, I must now reveal to you the great and glorious secret that has been hidden from your sight. For while your gaze has been fixed upon the immense and intimidating power of the darkness around you, my gaze has been fixed upon something else entirely. While you have been focused on the shadows, I have been focused on the flame. For I tell you a truth that will change the very foundation of your struggle there is within you. My child, an unseen, unquenchable light. This is not a light you must generate, but a light that is your very essence. It is a spark of my own divine being, a flame of my own spirit that has dwelt within you from the moment of your creation, and which no darkness, however profound, can ever extinguish. You have believed yourself to be a creature of darkness, a being of shadow, because that has been your most recent and most painful experience. You have identified with your own fear, with your own despair, and have forgotten your true origin. But your sojourn in the darkness has not changed your fundamental nature. You are, and have always been, a child of the light. For you are a child of mine, and I am light. And in me there's no darkness at all. This inner light, this sacred flame, has been unseen by you. I know. The smoke of your trial has been so thick, the gloom of your despair so pervasive, that it has hidden this inner radiance from your own eyes. You have looked within and have seen only your own pain, your own weakness, your own brokenness. It is like a person who possesses a priceless diamond, but because it is covered in a thick layer of mud and grime, they believe they hold only a worthless stone. So it has been with you. You possess within you a light of immeasurable worth and power, but the circumstances of your life have so coated it with the dust of sorrow and fear that you have become blind to its existence. But I, your God, have never been deceived by the outer grime. My eyes have always seen the brilliant, beautiful diamond of your spirit, shining in the depths of your being, even when you could not see it yourself. And this light, my beloved, is absolutely unquenchable. This is a truth your fearful heart must receive. The darkness you have faced has seemed so powerful, so absolute, that you have believed it could surely extinguish any light. The winds of adversity have howled with such fury. You were certain they would blow out any flame of hope. The waves of sorrow have crashed over you with such force. You were convinced they would drown any spark of your spirit. But the light within you is not a fragile candle flame that can be so easily snuffed out. It is a flame of divine origin, a spark of my own eternal, self-existent fire. It does not require earthly oxygen to burn. It is fueled by my own unending spirit. It does not need favorable conditions to survive. It is, by its very nature, eternal and indestructible. The greatest darkness in all the universe cannot extinguish the smallest spark of my divine light. It can only, for a time, obscure it from view. The fiercest storm can rage, but it has no power to put out a single star in the heavens. And so it is with you, my child. The storm of your trial has raged. The darkness has been profound, but it has had no power to extinguish the eternal star of my spirit that I have placed in the firmament of your soul. It has survived. It is there, and it is waiting now to shine forth with a new and victorious brilliance. My presence with you in your darkness has been that of the faithful guardian of this inner flame, while you have been battling the outer manifestations of the darkness. My primary work has been the secret, loving protection of this unquenchable light within you. I have been cupping my own divine hands around this tiny, precious spark, shielding it from the most violent gusts of despair, protecting it from the chilling rains of utter hopelessness. When you have felt you were at your very end, when you believed your own spirit was about to die, it was my presence, your unseen shield, that preserved that final holy ember. You have survived not because you were strong enough, but because the light within you, which is my life in you, is indestructible. And because I, your loving Father, have been its constant, vigilant protector. You have felt you are alone and powerless, but in truth, you have been a sacred vessel containing a priceless treasure, and you have been accompanied by a divine guardian whose power is absolute. Think of the pilot light in a great furnace. It is a tiny, almost invisible flame in the cold and darkness of the dormant furnace. It seems insignificant, but the master of the house knows that this tiny, protected, ever-burning flame is the most important part of the entire system, for it is this one small spark that holds the potential to reignite the entire furnace, to bring a great and roaring fire to life, to fill the entire house with warmth and light. So it has been with you, my child, in the cold, dark winter of your soul. Your true spirit has been like that pilot light, small, perhaps quiet, unseen, but faithfully, steadily burning in the depths of your being, protected by me. And now, the time is coming when I will open the valve of my grace, and this tiny, unquenchable flame within you will roar to life, igniting the very ashes of your past and transforming your entire being into a magnificent blaze of my glory. The potential for your complete victory over the darkness has been held safe within you all along. Let this understanding begin to shift your identity. You are not a creature of darkness, helplessly subject to its tyranny. You are a carrier of an unquenchable, divine light. You are a living sanctuary, a holy of holies, and in your center burns a flame that is of my own nature. The darkness is the illusion. This inner light is the eternal reality. The darkness is the temporary circumstance. This inner light is your true and lasting identity. Your work now is not to try to create a light, but to simply begin to acknowledge, to recognize, and to believe in the light that is already there. It is to turn the gaze of your heart inward, past the shadows of your fear, past the dust of your sorrow, and to begin to look for this small, quiet, and ever-faithful flame. I invite you now into a new practice. In your moments of quiet, in the heart of your stillness, I invite you to speak to this light within you. Acknowledge its presence. Thank me for it. Say to your own soul, there's a light in me, a light that cannot be extinguished. It is the very life of God in me, and it is my true self. As you practice this conscious acknowledgement, as you begin to identify with this inner light rather than with the outer darkness, you will find it beginning to grow in your own perception. It will become brighter, stronger, more tangible to your own spiritual senses. You have been a child of the King, living in a dark dungeon, unaware that you carried in your own pocket the royal signet, the key to your own freedom, and the symbol of your true authority. But I am here now to remind you of the treasure you carry. I am here to help you to recognize the unquenchable light that is your divine birthright. For this light is the source of your hope, the foundation of your strength, and the certain guarantee of your coming victory. The darkness, my beloved, will indeed flee, for it cannot stand against the beautiful, powerful, and unquenchable light that has been burning, unseen, within you all along. This unquenchable light is the very essence of your hope. It is not a hope placed in changing circumstances, but a hope placed in the indestructible nature of your own spirit, which is one with mine. This is a hope that cannot be disappointed, for it is rooted in an eternal reality. When the darkness has told you that you are worthless, this inner light has quietly held the truth of your infinite value. When the darkness has told you that you are defeated, this inner flame has silently contained the seed of your ultimate victory. When the darkness has told you that you are alone, this spark of my being has been the constant, unwavering proof of our unbreakable union. Your journey is now one of discovery. You are an explorer of your own inner landscape, and I am your guide, leading you to the discovery of this immense treasure that you have carried all along. The greatest adventure is not in conquering the outer world, but in discovering the magnificent, divine kingdom of light that resides within your own heart. So do not fear the darkness any longer. My child, it has done its worst, and it has failed to extinguish your light. Its power over you is broken, for its greatest weapon was the lie that it was all powerful and that you were all darkness. But now you know the truth. You are a bearer of my fire, a child of the light, and the recognition of this truth is the very beginning of the dawn. My beloved child, now that you have begun to receive the glorious truth that you are not a creature of darkness, but a carrier of a divine and unquenchable light, a spark of my own being that has been faithfully preserved within you through your darkest night. Let us now explore the very nature of this light, for it is in understanding the magnificent qualities of the light you carry that you will come to understand its power over the darkness you have so feared. This is not a weak or flickering flame. My child, the light within you, because it is of me, partakes of my own divine nature. It is a light of absolute truth, a light of unconditional love, a light of sovereign peace, and a light that carries an innate divine authority. And it is not an aggressive or violent force, but its very presence, its very essence, is so utterly antithetical to the nature of darkness that the darkness cannot endure it, and must, by a holy and immutable law, flee before it. You have believed that to overcome the darkness, you must engage it in a great and strenuous battle, a fight for which you have felt you have no strength. But I am here to teach you a new and more graceful way, the way of my kingdom. You do not have to fight the darkness, my child. You only have to shine, for the darkness is not a substance in itself. It is merely the absence of light. And when the light appears, the darkness does not put up a fight. It simply ceases to be. Your victory lies not in becoming a better warrior against the dark, but in becoming a more conscious and confident bearer of your own magnificent inner light. Let us first understand that your light is a light of absolute truth. The darkness that has tormented you has thrived on lies, on illusions, on distortions of reality. It has told you that you are alone, that you are worthless, that you are defeated, that your situation is hopeless. And these lies, repeated in the echo chamber of your fear, have created a powerful, though false, reality in which you have been living. But the light within you, which is a spark of my own spirit of truth, is inherently incapable of coexisting with a lie. Its very presence is like a divine tuning fork, whose perfect pitch reveals the jarring dissonance of all that is false. It does not need to argue with a lie. It simply, by its own clear, true resonance, exposes the lie as a falsehood, causing its structure to shatter. Imagine a room filled with distorted, frightening shadows cast by a single, dim, and flickering candle. Your work is not to fight each individual shadow. Your work is to simply turn on the great, brilliant light in the center of the room. And when that light shines, all the menacing shadows instantly vanish, not because they have been fought, but because their very existence was dependent on the dimness. So it is with your inner light of truth. As you learn to shine it, as you learn to live from the truth of who you are in me, the old, frightening shadows of the lies you have believed will simply, beautifully, and effortlessly disappear. Secondly, my beloved, your light is a light of unconditional, all-encompassing love. The darkness you have known is rooted in fear, which is the very opposite of love. And fear creates separation. It breeds suspicion. It thrives on the belief that you're alone and must protect yourself. But the light within you, which is a spark of my own heart, is composed of pure, unconditional love. And fear cannot survive in the presence of this love. This love is not an aggressive force that attacks your fear. It is a gentle, pervasive warmth that simply melts it. It is like the rising sun upon a frozen landscape. The sun does not fight the ice. It does not shatter it with a hammer. It simply shines its warm, loving light upon it. And the hard, rigid, and life-denying ice cannot help but yield, softening, melting, and transforming into the very life-giving water that will nourish the new growth of spring. So it is with the light of my love within you. As you learn to let it shine, as you learn to see yourself and the world through its compassionate gaze, the frozen structures of your fear, your anxiety, your defensiveness will begin to melt away, replaced by a new warmth, a new openness, a new and beautiful capacity for loving connection. The darkness of fear will flee before the gentle, overwhelming, and transformative warmth of your own loving light. Thirdly, my child, your light is a light of sovereign, creative peace. The darkness of your trial has been a state of profound inner chaos, of turmoil, of a jarring and relentless agitation of your spirit. But the light within you carries the very essence of my own shalom, the divine peace that is not just an absence of conflict, but a positive, creative, ordering force. It is a peace that brings harmony out of dissonance, order out of chaos. When you learn to access and to radiate this inner light of peace, its very presence begins to calm the storms around you and within you. It is like pouring a calming oil upon turbulent waters, causing the raging waves to be still. It is like the steady, serene presence of a great and ancient mountain, which by its very stillness seems to command a quiet reverence from the entire landscape. As you learn to abide in this inner peace, to let it be the very atmosphere of your being, you will find that the chaotic energies of the world, the frantic anxieties of your own mind, will have less and less power to disturb you. Your peace will become your shield, a fortress of tranquility that the chaos of the world cannot reach, and the darkness of turmoil will flee before the quiet, powerful, and ordering presence of your own peaceful light. And finally, my beloved, and most importantly, the light within you carries an innate, divine authority, because this light is a spark of me, the creator and sovereign of all that is. It carries my own divine authority. The forces of darkness, the spirits of fear and despair, recognize this authority, and they must yield to it. For so long, you have felt powerless, believing the darkness to be the greater power. But this has been a deception. The smallest flicker of your true, divine light carries an authority that is infinitely greater than the most intimidating display of the darkness. This is not an authority you must strive to achieve or to prove. It is your birthright as a child of the King. Your work is to simply become aware of it, to own it, and to stand in it. It is the authority of a rightful heir to a throne, who may have been living in obscurity, but who has now remembered who they are. When you learn to stand in the truth of your own identity, when you learn to shine your light with a quiet, humble confidence, you are exercising your divine authority. You do not need to shout at the darkness. You do not need to command it to leave. You simply need to be the light, to shine the truth, to radiate the love and the peace that are your true nature, and the darkness, recognizing the presence of a greater authority, the presence of the very light of God Himself, will have no choice but to retreat, to dissolve, to flee. This, my child, is the magnificent, powerful nature of the light that you carry within you. It is a light of truth that dispels all lies. It is a light of love that melts all fear. It is a light of peace that calms all chaos. And it is a light of divine authority before which no darkness can ultimately stand. Understanding this is the key to your victory. Your victory will not come from fighting harder, but from shining brighter. It will not come from developing better strategies to combat the darkness, but from becoming more fully, more consciously, more joyfully, the beautiful, powerful, and magnificent being of light that you have always, truth, been. The darkness is not your equal. My child, it is a temporary, illusory shadow, and you are a child of the eternal, all-powerful, and victorious light. And as you learn to own this truth, to live from it, to shine from it, you will begin to witness the glorious, beautiful, and certain fulfillment of my promise. The darkness will flee before your light. This light is your sacred inheritance. It is my own signature upon your soul, the mark of your divine origin and your eternal destiny. The darkness has tried to make you forget it, to make you believe that you are nothing but shadow and dust. But the truth of your light has endured, unquenchable, waiting for this very moment of your reawakening. The journey ahead is not one of struggle, but one of shining. It is a journey of learning to allow this inner radiance to permeate your every thought, your every word, your every action. It is a journey of becoming a luminous being, a walking testament to the truth that light is infinitely more powerful than darkness. As you practice this, as you learn to shine, do not be surprised when the old shadows retreat. Do not be surprised when the old fears lose their grip. Do not be surprised when the old chaos gives way to a new and beautiful order. This is not a magic trick. It is the simple, powerful, and immutable law of the Spirit. Light dispels darkness. It is its very nature. And you, my beloved, you are light, my beloved child. Now that you have begun to understand the magnificent nature of the unquenchable light you carry within you, a light of truth, of love, of peace, and of divine authority, let us now explore the sacred and immutable principle by which this light operates. For you have lived for so long under the tyranny of the darkness that you have come to believe it is an immense and powerful substance, a foe that must be fought with an equal or greater force. But I'm here to reveal to you a truth so simple, so profound, that it will dismantle the very foundation of your fear and forever change the nature of your struggle. This is the great and holy law of light and shadow darkness. My child, is not a substance in itself, It has no power, no being, no force of its own. It is, and has only ever been, the absence of light. Therefore, the darkness has no capacity to resist the light when your light appears. The darkness does not fight back. It does not argue. It does not negotiate. It simply, utterly, and instantly ceases to be. It must flee. This is a spiritual law as fundamental and as reliable as any law of your physical universe. You have experienced this in your world every day of your life. When you enter a dark room, do you battle the darkness? Do you try to shovel it out the window or sweep it under the rug? No. You do not engage with the darkness at all. You simply flip a switch. You light a candle. You introduce a source of light. And in the very instant that the light appears, the darkness is gone. It does not put up a fight. It does not slowly retreat to a corner. It simply vanishes, for its entire existence was contingent upon the absence of the very light you have now introduced. So it is with the darkness that has afflicted your soul. My beloved, you have been trying to fight the darkness itself. You have been wrestling with your fears. You have been arguing with your despair. You have been struggling against your confusion. And this has been an exhausting and fruitless battle. For you have been giving a substance and a power to that which has no substance or power of its own. You have been treating a shadow as if it were a monster. But the entire nature of your struggle changes when you understand this divine law. Your work is not to fight the darkness. Your work is to simply, courageously, learn to turn on your own light. Let us explore the implications of this sacred law. Firstly, it reveals the true, powerless nature of the darkness you have feared. The darkness of fear is merely the absence of the light of my love. The darkness of confusion is merely the absence of the light of my truth. The darkness of despair is merely the absence of the light of my hope. The darkness of shame is merely the absence of the light of my grace. These dark states have felt like powerful, active entities, like tyrants ruling over you. But this has been a grand illusion. Their power has been a borrowed power, a power granted to them only by the absence of their corresponding light. They are a vacuum, and their only power is the power of emptiness. When you understand this, the darkness is stripped of its terrifying, monstrous quality. It is demoted from a powerful tyrant to a simple void, a mere lack and a void. My child, however vast it may seem, has no will, no intelligence, no power of its own. It cannot act. It can only be acted upon. It cannot attack. It can only be filled. This understanding is the beginning of your liberation, for it takes the object of your terror and reveals it to be, in its essence, nothing at all. Secondly, this law reveals the inherent, irresistible power of your own inner light. Your light, which is my spirit in you, is not a void, not an absence. It is a substance. It is a powerful, active, and creative force. It is an emanation of the very being of God, and its nature is to expand, to illuminate, to create, to fill all things. While darkness is passive, light is active. While darkness is empty, light is full. While darkness is a state of non-being, light is the very essence of being itself. Therefore, when your light and the darkness meet, it is not a battle between two equal forces. It is the meeting of something and nothing, and something will always, without fail. Displace nothing. This is the spiritual physics of my kingdom. Your light carries within it the very power of creation, the authority of the Creator, and the darkness, being a state of uncreation, a void, simply has no capacity to resist it. It cannot hold its ground. It cannot fight back. It must, by the very law of its nature and the greater law of my nature, yield, dissolve, and disappear in the presence of your light. This is why I have been so focused on teaching you to recognize and to understand and to own the light within you. For your victory is not found in becoming a better fighter, but in becoming a more confident shiner. The entire solution to the tyranny you have endured is not in a strategy of war, but in the simple, beautiful, and profoundly powerful act of turning on the light. Let us apply this law to the specific darknesses you have known. You have been in a battle with fear, and you have tried to fight it with your own willpower, your own logic. But this is like fighting a shadow with a sword. It is a futile effort. But now you understand that fear is simply the absence of the light of my love. So your work now is not to fight the fear, but to turn on the light of love. How? By turning your heart to me, by receiving my unconditional affection, by choosing to believe that you are loved beyond measure. As you consciously fill your heart with the warm, radiant light of my love, the cold shadow of fear simply has no place to remain. It dissolves. It flees. Not because you have fought it, but because its very existence depended on a lack of the love that you are now so joyfully receiving. You have been in a battle with confusion. You have tried to think your way out of the fog, to argue your way to clarity. But this only creates more mental noise. But now you understand that confusion is merely the absence of the light of my truth. So, your work now is not to fight the confusion, but to turn on the light of truth. You do this by stilling your mind and listening for my quiet whisper, by reading my words of life, by aligning your thoughts with the eternal verities of my kingdom. As you fill your mind with the clear, brilliant light of my truth, the fog of confusion naturally, effortlessly lifts. It has no substance with which to resist the clarity of my light. You have been in a battle with despair. You have tried to argue with its hopeless narratives. But now you know that despair is merely the absence of the light of my hope. And so, your work is to turn on the light of hope, not by manufacturing your own optimism, but by focusing on my unbreakable promises, by celebrating the first signs of your new dawn, by placing your trust in my character, which is eternally faithful. As the light of this divine, certain hope begins to shine in your heart. The darkness of despair must flee, for it is a creature of lies about the future, and it cannot survive in the presence of the truth of the beautiful. Glorious future I have ordained for you. This is the great and liberating secret. My beloved, you are a child of the light, and your nature is to shine. The darkness is an alien environment to you, a temporary condition you have endured. But now you are being called back to your true nature, your true power. Your power is not in your ability to fight, but in your capacity to radiate. Cease your struggle with the shadows. My child, it is an exhausting and unnecessary war. You have been wrestling with nothing, and it has worn you out. Turn your attention now to the one, true and powerful reality, the unquenchable, divine light that dwells within you. Focus on me. Focus on love. Focus on truth. Focus on hope. And as you do, you will find that you will simply, naturally, and beautifully begin to shine. And as you shine, you will witness the glorious, beautiful, and certain fulfillment of this holy and immutable law. The darkness will flee before your light. This law changes your entire spiritual practice. It is no longer about a desperate and fearful struggle against a powerful enemy. It becomes a joyful, a peaceful practice of cultivating your own inner light. It is no longer about what you are fighting against, but what you are turning towards. And this is a far more life-giving, far more powerful, and far more beautiful way to live. The darkness may have seemed so real, so solid, so powerful, but that was its great deception. It is a phantom king, a ruler with no substance, whose entire reign is dependent on its subjects believing that it is real. The moment you, the true heir, the child of the light, realize the truth of who you are and begin to shine with your own innate authority, the phantom king is exposed. Its illusory kingdom dissolves, and you are restored to your rightful place. This is a truth that will set you free at the deepest level. It frees you from the fear of the darkness itself. You no longer need to be afraid of moments of sadness, of doubt, of confusion, for you know now that they are not powerful entities that can consume you. They are simply invitations to turn on your light, to draw nearer to me, to fill that momentary emptiness with the truth of my presence. Your life now becomes a beautiful experiment in this divine law. In every situation, you can practice this. Instead of fighting the darkness you see in the world or in yourself, you can simply, quietly, confidently shine your light, and you will watch with a sense of peaceful awe as the darkness yields, as it recedes, as it flees, not from your might, but from mine, shining through you. This is your authority as a child of God. It is the authority of light over darkness. It is an authority you have always possessed, but haven't known how to use. The darkness of your trial has served the sacred purpose of forcing you to discover this inner power, this divine light. And now that you have discovered it, you are a being of immense power, a warrior of light whose victory is assured not by the strength of your sword, but by the brilliance of your own shining soul. My beloved child, now that you have come to understand the great and liberating spiritual law, that the darkness you have so feared is not a substance, but a mere absence, and that your own inner light, which is my light in you, carries an innate and irresistible authority over it. The time has now come for you to witness this law in action. For this is not a mere theological theory. My child, it is a living, breathing, and powerful reality. As you begin to own the truth of the unquenchable light within you, as you start to tentatively shine it into the shadowed corners of your life, you will begin to perceive the first, glorious, and undeniable proofs of its power. These are the first glimmers of your dominion, the initial, beautiful signs that the darkness is indeed beginning to flee before your light. These are the moments where a long-held fear recedes in the face of your new peace, where an old lie dissolves before your new clarity, where a difficult situation begins to shift because of your new. quiet confidence. For so long, you have felt yourself to be a helpless subject in the kingdom of darkness, a powerless victim of its tyranny. But now, you are beginning to awaken to your true identity as a child of the King of Light, and you are beginning to experience your own rightful, divine authority. These first glimmers are profoundly significant, for they are the tangible evidence that the power dynamic in your life is shifting, that the usurper is being deposed, and that you, the rightful heir, are beginning to take your place upon the throne of your own heart. Perhaps one of the very first glimmers of your dominion you will witness will be a fear that recedes in the face of your new peace. You have known fears that have been like great, dark beasts, haunting the landscape of your mind, paralyzing you, dictating your choices. You have tried to fight them, to reason with them, to run from them, all to no avail. But now, as you learn to access the light of my sovereign peace that dwells within you, you will have a new experience. A familiar, fear-inducing situation will arise. The old beast of anxiety will rear its head, preparing to charge. But this time, instead of engaging it in battle, instead of running in terror, you will simply, courageously choose to stand your ground in the quiet sanctuary of your inner light. You will breathe. You will turn your heart to me. You will choose to radiate the gentle, powerful frequency of my peace, and a miracle will occur. You will watch as the great, terrifying beast of your fear, in the presence of this quiet, confident light, hesitates. It will lose its momentum. Its roar will become a whimper, and it will begin to back away, to recede into the shadows from which it came. It will flee, not because you have fought it with a great show of force, but because your simple choice to stand in the light of peace has robbed it of the darkness it needs to survive. Each time this happens, my child, you are experiencing your dominion. You are learning that your peace is more powerful than your panic, that your light is more authoritative than your fear. This is the first beautiful taste of your victory. You will also experience these glimmers of dominion as an old lie dissolves before your new clarity. You have been imprisoned by lies for so long, the lies of your own unworthiness, of your inadequacy, of your hopelessness. These lies have been the very bars of your cell. But now, as the light of my truth begins to shine more brightly within you, you will find these bars beginning to become translucent, to lose their substance. A thought that has tormented you for years, I am not good enough, may arise out of habit. But this time, instead of believing it, instead of feeling its familiar, heavy weight, a new clarity will arise within you. You will simply see it for what it is: a lie, a phantom, a thought with no ultimate reality. It will have no power to convince you, no ability to cause you pain. In the presence of the light of your own true identity as my beloved, cherished child, the lie of your unworthiness simply dissolves into nothingness. This is a profound moment of liberation. My child, it is you exercising the authority of truth over the power of deception. You are not arguing with the lie. You are simply outshining it. You are learning that your inner light of truth is a divine solvent, capable of dissolving even the most ancient, most stubborn structures of falsehood. Every lie that dissolves in this way is a bar of your prison melting away, a testament to the irresistible power of the light you carry. This is a glorious glimpse of your dominion over all that is not true. And this new inner dominion, my beloved, will begin to manifest as a situation that shifts because of your new, quiet confidence. For so long, you may have felt that your outer circumstances were fixed, unchangeable, more powerful than you. But as you learn to stand in the quiet, light-filled authority of your true self, you will begin to see the world around you respond in a new way. A difficult relationship, which was locked in a pattern of conflict or misunderstanding, may begin to soften, to change its dynamic, not because you have forced the other person to change, but because you are now showing up differently. You are showing up not as a fearful victim, but as a peaceful, loving, confident child of God, and your new, radiant energy naturally, miraculously, invites a new and better response from the world around you. A project that was stalled, mired in confusion and frustration, may suddenly find a new flow, a new creative energy, as you learn to approach it not from a place of striving and fear, but from a place of quiet, inspired, purposeful action. The darkness of the outer world, my child, is not as solid as you think. It is deeply affected by the light that you radiate. As you learn to shine your light boldly, as you move through your world from this new place of inner dominion, you will find that circumstances begin to bend to your new reality, that doors begin to open, that the outer world begins to reorganize itself around the new, powerful, and beautiful truth of who you are. And all of this, my child, will cultivate within you the most beautiful glimmer of all the feeling of your own, innate authority. This is not the loud, brittle authority of the ego, which seeks to control others. It is the quiet, serene, and unshakable authority of a soul that knows who it is, that knows its source, that knows the power it carries. It is a feeling of being at home in the universe, a feeling of being a powerful and effective co-creator with me. It is the end of the victim mentality and the joyful embrace of your identity as a royal heir, a prince or princess of the kingdom of light. This feeling of your own divine authority is the ultimate fruit of this process. It is you, finally owning the power that I have placed within you. It is you, finally believing that the light you carry is indeed more powerful than any darkness. And as you learn to live from this place of quiet, humble, and loving authority, you will find that the darkness, in all its forms, will indeed flee before you, for it cannot stand in the presence of a beloved child of God who has fully, joyfully, and confidently come into their own light. These are the first glimpses of your dominion. My beloved, they are real, they are powerful, and they are but a foretaste of the magnificent, light-filled life you are now destined to live. Cherish them, celebrate them, and let them be the proof that your victory is not just a future promise, but a present, unfolding, and glorious reality. Every time you choose peace over fear, you are exercising your dominion. Every time you choose to believe the truth of your worth over the lie of your shame, you are exercising your dominion. Every time you bring your quiet, confident, light-filled presence to a difficult situation, you are exercising your dominion. This is not a struggle. It is a shining, and it is the most powerful thing you can do. The darkness has ruled by making you believe you were its subject. But now you are discovering that you are its master. not a harsh master, but a master whose very presence causes the darkness to yield, to serve the purposes of light, or to simply disappear. This is the great reversal of power that is now taking place in your life. Do not be afraid of this new authority. It is an authority of love, an authority that heals, an authority that liberates. It is my own authority, now being expressed through you, as you become more comfortable with it, as you learn to wield it with wisdom and with love. You will become a source of immense blessing, a powerful force for good in a world that is so often lost in the shadows. These first glimmers are my loving encouragement to you. They are my way of saying, see, I told you so. I told you that your light was powerful, and now you are beginning to see it for yourself. This is a time of great joy, a profound discovery, of a beautiful, empowering awakening. Your dominion is real, and the darkness is already in retreat. My beloved child, as you begin to witness the first glorious glimmers of your own dominion, as you experience those sacred moments where the darkness of your old fears and illusions recedes before the emerging light of your true self, I now invite you to a new and courageous practice. For it is one thing to know you possess a light, and another thing entirely to choose to shine it with a bold and joyful confidence. You have been a hidden flame, a protected ember, a secret treasure. But the season of your hiddenness is now ending, and the season of your shining is at hand. The invitation now, my child, is to learn to shine your light boldly, to consciously stop hiding it under a bushel of fear, to fully own the beautiful, spiritual authority you carry as my child, and to actively project the light of my love, my truth, and my peace into every corner of your life. For so long, you have been conditioned by the darkness to play small. Survival has meant being inconspicuous, not drawing the attention of the tyrant. You have learned to dim your own light, to quiet your own truth, to hide your own gifts, believing this was the only way to be safe, and for a season. This was a necessary strategy of endurance. But the tyranny is broken. The darkness is now in retreat. And to continue to hide your light is to remain a voluntary prisoner in a war that has already been won. To shine your light boldly is your act of claiming the victory, of inhabiting your freedom, of stepping fully into the magnificent, radiant being I have always created you to be. How do you learn to shine this light, my child? After so long in the shadows, it begins with a conscious and courageous decision to be spiritually visible. This is a profound choice of the will. It is a decision that says, I will no longer be defined by the darkness. I will no longer live as if the tyrant is still in power. I will now live as a child of the light, and I will allow that light to be seen. This is a choice to let go of the old, familiar comfort of invisibility and to embrace the vulnerable, yet powerful posture of a life lived openly, authentically. In the light, this means you must be willing to risk being seen. It means being willing to let your newfound peace, your hard-won wisdom, your restored joy, become visible to others. It means choosing to no longer apologize for the light you carry. This may feel frightening at first, for the old habit of self-diminishment can be strong. But I tell you, my child, your light is not a fragile thing that needs to be protected by hiding. It is a powerful, divine flame, and its very nature is to shine, to illuminate, to radiate. Your choice to be visible is your beautiful yes to your own divine nature. Secondly, learning to shine boldly means learning to fully own your divine authority as my child, as a carrier of my own spirit. You possess a spiritual authority that you are only now beginning to comprehend. This is not the arrogant, controlling authority of the ego, but the quiet, serene, and powerful authority of love, of truth, of peace. It is the authority of the light itself over the darkness. To own this authority is to know, with a deep and unshakable confidence, that the light you carry is more powerful than any shadow you will ever face. When you walk into a room filled with anxiety, you can now do so with the quiet knowing that the light of peace you carry has the authority to change that atmosphere. When you are faced with a situation built on lies and deception, you can stand in the quiet knowing that the light of truth you carry has the authority to expose and to dismantle that falsehood. When you are confronted with fear, you can rest in the quiet knowing that the light of love you carry has the authority to cause that fear to flee. Owning your authority is not about becoming aggressive or confrontational. It is about a profound inner shift in your own self-perception. It is moving from the mindset of a helpless victim of the darkness to the serene, confident posture of a royal ambassador of the kingdom of light, who knows the power and the authority of the king they represent. And from this place of owned authority, my child, you can then begin the joyful practice of actively projecting your light into your circumstances. This is where your inner reality begins to consciously, intentionally transform your outer world. This is not a passive shining. It is an active one. When you are facing a difficult conversation, you can, before you even speak a word, consciously project the light of my peace and my love into the space between you and the other person. You can visualize my light filling the room, calming the energies, opening hearts. When you are wrestling with a fearful thought, you can actively shine the brilliant light of my truth upon it, seeing it dissolve in the radiance of what is eternally real. When you are engaging with a project or task that feels overwhelming, you can consciously invite your inner light of wisdom and strength to flow through your hands, your mind, your heart, infusing your work with a new grace and a new effectiveness. This practice of actively projecting your light is the art of becoming a co-creator with me in the healing and the transformation of your own life and the world around you. You are no longer just a victim of your circumstances. You are becoming a luminous, powerful agent of their transformation. And finally, my beloved, shining your light boldly means expressing your unique, God-given gifts. Your light is not meant to be a generic, abstract thing. It is meant to shine through the specific, beautiful prism of the unique personality, the specific talents, the divine purpose that I have given only to you. To shine your light is to sing your song, to paint your picture, to build your building, to love your people. It is to do the very thing that makes your own heart come alive, for in doing so, you are allowing the unique color and fragrance of your soul's light to bless the world. Do not be afraid to step into your gifts. Do not be afraid to be powerful, to be brilliant, to be magnificent in the unique way that I have created you to be. To dim your light for fear of making others uncomfortable is not humility. It is a denial of the very gift I have given you. I have created you to shine. My child, and as you courageously step into your divine purpose, as you begin to offer your unique gifts in a spirit of love and service, your light will shine with its greatest, most beautiful, and most powerful intensity. This, my beloved, is the glorious art of learning to shine. It is a journey of making a conscious decision to be visible, of owning your divine authority, of actively projecting your light, and of joyfully expressing your unique gifts. It is a journey from the timid posture of the shadows to the radiant confidence of the sun. And I am with you in every step of this new adventure. I am the infinite source of the very light you are learning to shine. You cannot deplete it. The more you shine, the more my life will flow into you and through you. I will be your constant teacher, your loving encourager, your proudest witness, as you learn to move from being a hidden ember to a magnificent, blazing fire of my love in the world. So take your light now, my child, from under the bushel of your fear. Place it upon the lampstand of your life, and let it shine. Let it shine brightly, boldly, beautifully, without apology. For you are a child of the light, and the darkness that has for so long tormented you, and the darkness of the world around you, will indeed, and with a glorious certainty, flee before your light. This shining is the ultimate act of worship. It is a declaration of your faith in me, the source of your light. It is a testament to the transformative power of my grace. It is your beautiful, active thank you for the deliverance I have brought you. Every time you choose to shine, you are bringing glory to my name. And this shining is also an act of profound love for the world. The world is lost in darkness, filled with fear, and desperately in need of hope. Your light, my child, is not just for you. It is a gift for your brothers and sisters who are still struggling. Your peace can bring them peace. Your courage can inspire their courage. Your hope can ignite their hope. To shine your light boldly is to become a true and beautiful servant, a loving agent of my own heart in a world that so desperately needs it. Do not be intimidated by this calling. I do not ask you to do it alone. I am with you. My light flows through you. Your part is to simply be a willing, open, and courageous vessel, to say yes to the light that you are. The time of cowering in the darkness is over. The time of apologizing for your own existence is past. You are a child of the Kingdom Light, and you are called now to stand in your full, radiant, and divine authority. Shine, my beloved. Shine with all the beautiful, unique, and powerful light that you are. For this is your destiny, and this is your joy. The tyranny of the darkness ruled by making you believe that you were one of its subjects. But your bold shining is a declaration of your true citizenship, your true allegiance to the kingdom of light. It is a revolutionary act that dismantles the old regime of fear and establishes a new reign of love and of peace in your own life and in the lives of those you touch. The darkness may hiss and protest as you begin to shine. It may try to tell you that you are arrogant, that you are being too much. This is the last, desperate cry of a defeated tyrant. Do not listen. Keep shining, for its threats are empty. Its power is an illusion, and it must, by the eternal law of my being, flee before the beautiful, glorious, in ever-increasing radiance of your light, my precious child, my beloved beacon of light, as you have so courageously learned to shine with the divine radiance that I have placed within you, as you have chosen to own your spiritual authority and to project the light of my love into your world. The great and glorious promise I have spoken over you now comes to its magnificent fulfillment. The old tyranny of darkness is broken, its power utterly dismantled, its reign brought to a final and decisive end. And you, my child, now step into the beautiful and powerful reality of a life lived in radiant victory. This is the glorious outcome of your journey, a life where you are no longer a victim of the darkness, but a serene and confident master of your own inner kingdom of light. A life where the shadows of fear and despair must always retreat before the brilliant shining of your true divine self. The long and painful battle is over. The oppressive occupation has been lifted, and you now stand, not as a weary survivor on a desolate battlefield, but as a triumphant victor, a radiant sovereign, upon the holy ground of your own restored soul. This is your new reality, your new way of being, a life characterized by a profound peace, a joyful purpose, and a luminous presence that brings light and hope to all it touches. Experience now what it means to live with a quiet, confident spiritual authority. For so long, you have felt powerless, a victim of your circumstances, of your fears, of the darkness itself. But now, having discovered and embraced the unquenchable light within you, you possess a new authority. It is not the loud, arrogant authority of the ego, but the deep, quiet, unshakable authority of a soul that knows its source, that knows its identity, that knows its power in me. You will find yourself moving through the world with a new and beautiful confidence. You will face challenges not with the old, frantic anxiety, but with a serene and centered peace, knowing that the light you carry is greater than any darkness you may face. This authority will manifest as a new discernment in your life. You will be able to see through the illusions of the world, to recognize the lies of fear, to feel the difference between that which is of me and that which is not. You will no longer be so easily deceived or manipulated. You will walk with a new wisdom, a new certainty, for you are being guided now not by the confusing shadows of the world, but by the clear, unwavering light of my spirit within your own heart. This is the victory of a soul that has come into its own divine dominion, a soul that has taken its rightful place as the peaceful, wise, and loving ruler of its own inner kingdom. As you live from this place of authority, you will discover that the darkness no longer has a foothold in your life. In the past, your heart and your mind, shadowed by fear and doubt, were fertile ground for the seeds of negativity, of despair, of bitterness to take root. But now, your inner world has been transformed. It is a sanctuary filled with my light, my love, my peace. And in this sacred, luminous environment, the seeds of darkness simply cannot grow. When a fearful thought attempts to enter your mind, it will find no darkness to attach to, and it will wither in the light of your new peace. When a situation arises that once would have plunged you into despair, you will find that the despair cannot take root in the rich, well-lit soil of your now hopeful heart. You are becoming a holy and inhospitable environment for all that is not of love, all that is not of light. This is not a constant, wearying battle. It is the natural, effortless state of a soul that has learned to abide in the light. The darkness flees from you, not because you are fighting it, but simply because there's no place left for it within you, and as your own inner world becomes a place of radiant light, your very being becomes a beacon of hope and healing for others. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. A great and beautiful fire that burns brightly on a dark night naturally draws weary travelers to its warmth and its light. So it is with you now, my child, as you live in the joyful, peaceful reality of your own victorious light. You will, without any conscious effort, become a source of light for a world that is so often lost in the darkness. Your peace will calm the anxious hearts of those around you. Your joy will be a startling and beautiful reminder to those who have forgotten how to laugh. Your compassion, born of your own redeemed suffering, will be a healing balm to the wounded. Your quiet, confident strength will be an inspiration to those who feel weak and defeated. You will not have to preach or to teach. Your very being, your radiant, peaceful, victorious presence will be the most powerful sermon you could ever give. This is the beautiful, effortless ministry of a soul that is shining with the very light of its God. This is the glorious purpose for which you have been so lovingly, so powerfully prepared. And all of this, my beloved, culminates in a life lived in the profound and simple joy of shining. The ultimate purpose of a light is to shine. The ultimate joy of a soul created in my image is to radiate the love, the truth, the beauty that is its very essence. And this is the life that is now yours to live. It is a life of joyful self-expression, of a free and authentic unfolding of your unique gifts, of a beautiful, creative partnership with me in bringing more light into the world. The old, heavy burden of your struggle with the darkness is gone, replaced by the light, joyful, and purposeful work of simply being who you are, of shining your unique and beautiful light. This is a life of immense fulfillment, of deep satisfaction, for you are now living in perfect alignment with your deepest nature and your highest calling. This is the great and glorious victory. My child, it is a victory that has transformed not just your circumstances, but your very being. You have moved from being a captive in the darkness to becoming a radiant source of light. You have journeyed from the tyranny of fear to the peaceful reign of love. You have been transformed from a victim of the night into a triumphant child of the day. This is your new and everlasting reality. Embrace it with all your heart, live in it with a joyful confidence, and shine, my precious child. Shine with all the magnificent, beautiful, and powerful light that you are, for the darkness has indeed fled before you, and your life, from this day forward, is destined to be a glorious and ever-brightening testament to the ultimate, eternal, and beautiful victory of the light that I am, and the light that you are in me. The memory of the tyranny of darkness will now serve only to make you more grateful for the gift of your own light, and more compassionate towards those who are still living under its shadow. You will look back on your own journey and see it not as a source of shame, but as your sacred training ground, the very place where you discovered the unquenchable nature of your own spirit, and the absolute sovereignty of my love. This radiant victory is not a final destination, but a new starting point. From this place of light and authority, you will now embark on new adventures. You will dream new dreams. You will love in new ways, all from a foundation of unshakable peace and quiet power. The nature of light is to ever expand, and so your own life will be one of ever-expanding joy, purpose, and beauty. You are my answer to the darkness in the world. My child, you are my hope, my love, my light, made manifest in a beautiful, unique, and powerful human form. And as you shine, you are participating with me in the great and glorious work of the healing and the transformation of all things. This is the magnitude of the calling into which you have now stepped. So do not ever fear the darkness again. You know its nature, and you know your own. You are a master of your own inner kingdom, a radiant bearer of my own eternal light. And before that light, all shadows, all fears, all darkness must and will always flee, as the radiant light of your own victorious spirit now shines from the very center of your being, my cherished child. Let the profound peace and the joyful confidence of this new reality be your eternal atmosphere. The long and terrifying night under the tyranny of darkness is over, its power broken forever by the dawning awareness of the unquenchable light within you. You have journeyed from the depths of powerlessness to the heights of a quiet and divine authority. You have learned that darkness is not a substance to be fought, but an absence to be filled with the beautiful, powerful light of your own true being, which is my spirit in you. You have become a beacon of my hope, a testament to my power, a radiant expression of my love. Rest now in this victory, my beloved. It is not a fleeting state, but your new and lasting identity. Abide in the light that you are, and let it shine freely, boldly, and beautifully, for the glory of your God and for the healing of the world. The battle is over. The victory is won. And your life is now a beautiful, triumphant, and ever-shining light.